What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. In this one, we have a good guest. We got Smith Nieson back on the podcast. We talk about a couple stories that were in the news recently about like the planes and all that. Also, towards the end, we go off on some pretty funny stories that Smith has to tell, and we all have to tell about some pranks and stuff that we did in our past. But this one's definitely a quality episode, and I would definitely stay tuned if I were you.
Hello. So, you guys might have heard, but there was a recent hijacking of a plane in Washington, in Seattle. Did you guys hear about that?
Nope.
Sean, did you hear about that?
I did not until now.
Okay, so none of you guys heard about that. Okay, so that was last Friday, August 10th or 9th. And it was a guy named Richard Russell. So he's an employee who worked, he was like a ground service worker, right? So his duties were like loading and unloading the baggages and like cleaning the planes and towing it, right?
Yeah.
He wasn't like a engineer or like he wasn't on the plane or anything.
He wouldn't even like touch anything. Yeah.
And while no one was on the plane, he towed the plane out on the runway and launched it off the ground. He got going and he started flying around, right?
Nice.
And like
Was that a big plane?
yeah,
Like it was carrier.
It was a Q400, so it had 80 seats on it, right? And it was the Alaskan Airlines one, and it was worth like $30 million.
And the keys were just in it, or
Yeah, so the keys are in
Just left it running.
because it's super hard. Like you can leave them on, and no one like would know how to drive it or anything. And the security in airports is top notch, you know. But yeah, he just hopped in, and no one's really sure like how he did it. But he was flying, and he was doing like barrel rolls. Yeah, like he was doing like
Did he
flips.
land?
So we'll get there.
Okay, I imagine this dude pulling up. He like tows it. He's like, all right, this is a good spot. He'll pull up. He sits in like the captain's seat and hops on YouTube like Q400 how to start. So
Played like a lot of simulators or something.
yeah.
Watched Air Force One once.
You watch Top Gun.
Top Gun, yeah. It's like, I got this.
Yeah, no, maybe my dream is like he got on in it and was like, oh, this is the dream. Like, I want to do this. And then he just started pushing buttons. And all of a sudden, like, it started moving.
Oh man.
Uh-oh. But that's actually not the case. What happened was he planned to do it. And when he was flying around and, like, immediately there were, like, F-16 fighter pilots, like, right next to him from the Air Force. Because they're like, if he tries anything, like, we're going to have to step in.
Blow him up.
Yeah. And so they were like following him, and ground control was like, hey, like, let's land this plane before anyone gets hurt or before you die. Or, you know, and then he was like, you could tell it's kind of sad because you could tell he was like not right in the head because you have they released the audio files of like everything that went down.
Yeah.
And of him talking, and you could tell that he was just, and he was saying, he's like, yeah, I'm like not in the right place. Like, this is going to break my family's heart, you know, hearing me about all of this. But he was just saying, like, he's like, I don't really want to come down. He's like, do you think this thing can do a flip? And then he proceeded to do one, and then he was like it was kind of funny, but it's kind of sad at the same time.
Fighter jets are like, dude, this guy's really gonna do it.
Like, this dude's nuts. Can we blow him up or what? And so so he was doing that. And then he was probably flying. He was flying for not too long, but he was like burning fuel pretty quick.
Yeah,
and he was like freaking out about that. And they're like, hey, you can like the F-16s can like escort you to their base, and you can land there. There's a big runway there. And he's like, nah, I think they'll just blow me up the second I get close to it. They're like, no, they're not going to blow you up if you try to land at the base. And then he just ended up crashing it into an island, like kind of intentionally. But he was the only one on it. Like, no one else got hurt. Nobody died in the fire where he crashed, but
only $30 million worth of damages.
only 30 million. Yeah, but that's why they have insurances. You know what I mean? So it's not like they're gonna pay anything. But that's the first story of planes.
That reminds me, I sent a meme It was like one of those things, like, you know, the Powerpuff Girls. You
Yeah,
know what I'm talking about?
I saw that meme. Tell us.
It's like they're like, so you stop that petty thief. Instead, like the petty thief was stealing like $400. Like,
$400 worth of stuff.
Yeah, and then the Powerpuff Girls go in and destroy a massive bridge, stopping this thief, and the bridge was worth like $8 million. And it's like, why? I don't know. It just reminded me of that for some reason.
No, that's such a funny thing. And like in all movies, like all the good guys can get away with like.
Yeah.
They just blow up everything to stop it, and it's like you caused millions of dollars worth of damages because everything's so expensive. Like imagine, like if a street blows up,
That's a
millions
lot of money.
and millions of dollars.
That's kind of funny.
But yeah, no, that I can read that meme if you want.
Go
That
for it.
one.
Go
He's
for
like,
it.
at what point did you think it was a good idea to blow up the Sykesville Bridge? Do you realize that 2 crooks that you caught stole approximately $400? Do you realize that you did over $3 million in property damage to that bridge? And it's just a close-up shot of their little faces, and they're like,
That's funny.
cute-ass little kids just trying to be a hero.
Just the Powerpuff Girls.
And they blew it up. So what do you guys think of that story? What are your thoughts?
Oh my god, that's
It reminds me of the flight simulators.
Yeah.
You ever watch videos of the flight simulators?
Yeah.
They're actually
They're in
like
depth.
they're very realistic, and like there's people like in the towers that are like telling you what to do, like F9 or 3-2 whatever you were prepared to like take off. Like they do like they go pretty in depth on it. And sometimes I watch the videos of people just like fucking around on those.
Yeah.
And they're pretty funny.
Well, it's funny because like they like the no one has any idea. Like he wasn't properly trained or anything. Like he should not have been able to get that thing off the ground, let alone like fly it around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and they said that the only thing that they can think of is video games that trained him.
Really?
Like
I
maybe
mean,
YouTube videos and video games.
Flight simulators.
That's
There's
insane.
some pretty in-depth flight simulators. There are games.
Maybe he
like,
played like Google Earth. Like you remember when you could turn on the plane
Oh,
mode?
yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, I would romp on
Oh,
that thing
yeah.
and you just fly around and you'd crash.
fly around Spanish Fork.
Yeah, you're like, look,
yeah.
it's my house. It's my house. I can land at my house.
Can you imagine like the people who are on the next flight and like the airport had to explain like
Oh yeah, they shut him down for like a couple hours.
like
Like
the
people
whole,
who
the
were, like,
whole
yeah.
airport?
Yeah,
Well, I'm sure they
yeah,
didn't,
like you can't fly around.
Yeah.
Like if
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the
Oh,
case.
yeah.
that
that
plane,
makes
like,
sense,
flew
yeah.
into another plane. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because he was just kind of looping around doing his.
yeah.
I imagine being at the airport and looking up and you see a massive 80-person plane doing a
Just doing a
flip, and you're like, "What is going on?" Like, let me get on with that flight.
Do a
chief.
barrel roll.
Google, do a barrel roll.
Excuse me, is he taking requests? Like,
Maybe maybe that plane like ran on Alexa or something.
Hey man, spell my name in the sky.
It was like a Skyrim mod, but it's for flying a plane.
wait a
You
second,
can see a mountain.
Guys.
Fly a little higher.
guys, he probably just had it on autopilot the whole time.
No, they said that autopilot wasn't engaged,
He just
and
hits
it wouldn't let you.
autopilot.
It wouldn't let you
Starts
do
doing
flips.
flips.
That was a joke. That was a joke.
Oh, okay.
Autopilot's like, all right, let's get it.
So yeah, that'll probably change things with the employee side of airports because I'm sure
Yes.
it was tight enough before, but now it'll be even
Jeez.
crazier.
Even tighter.
So the next one, that's the next day, August 10th, in St. George, our little Utah getaway. A pilot died after his plane crashed after takeoff. So he was going to take off, and it veered to like the left or the right, and it hit like the dirt patch, and it just nosedived.
Ooh.
Right, and so it was a one-man plane, so it was only him that died, but that's still pretty sad, right? And this one there wasn't like any news on it or anything, so it's somewhat insignificant, but it ties into the next one.
Ooh.
Really weird. So did you guys hear about the plane crash in Payson yesterday?
Yeah, that was
Do you
wicked.
know who he was?
I don't know who he was. Did you know who he was?
Yeah, because I've had to deal with him at work a few times.
Dude, he looked familiar, and I
So-
don't know if.
Okay, he does Red's tinting.
Okay,
You know,
Yeah.
he's red. So,
that was red. Oh,
from Red's tinting. So,
I
auto body tinting or whatever.
And you've
I
like
can't
helped
remember.
this dude at WikiWash?
No, I've like had to like we fucked some guy's tint up one time, and I like sent him to Red.
Nice.
So
and he was
I've dealt
cheap
with
too.
him. Oh yeah,
He had good prices.
yeah.
Damn. That's a loss.
What a
No.
shame.
Yeah, Janae was telling me about that today.
Yeah.
She's like, "Do you know who that was?" I was like, "Mm-mm."
So what did you hear about the crash?
So I heard from Janae. So the guy who crashed the plane, he'd gotten some domestic charge,
Yeah.
up in American Fort Canyon, got bailed out, and then he, how a lot of domestic charges work is you can't be within the house in like 72 hours. So he got like, unless you have like an escort. So he got like a police to escort him there so he could get his clothes. So I got his clothes. The cop said he was like super chill about everything, left, and then an hour later got in his plane and crashed it right into his house and killed himself.
Into
Yeah.
his own house?
Yep.
Into his own house.
Yeah, he was. I heard that. I don't know if he was trying to kill his wife, but he also had like a child, like a 4-year-old kid or something.
No, they reported it was a young kid at first, but it was actually a 24-year-old child.
Oh,
So yeah, it was it was his child, but it was 24.
yeah,
His
but
son.
he was. I think he was trying to kill his wife and.
He wasn't trying to kill the kid; he was trying to
Wife.
kill the wife.
If
Yeah,
your kid's in there, I mean, it's kind of a problem. But
yeah.
yeah.
Sean, did you hear anything?
How does that tie in though?
Okay, so it gets okay. So yes, all that Smith said was correct. So in American Fort Canyon, they were out there and they started having a fight, and he started like grabbing her and maybe hitting her or something.
Yep.
You know, he assaulted her. It's a witness called the cops on him. Cops came and picked him up, charged him for domestic violence, and then dropped him off or escorted him to his house to pick up his truck and some clothes.
Mm.
And the dude, he worked for a construction company where he would fly. He had his plane, like the company plane, and he even had like access to the airport, like the garage. I forgot what it's called, but the hangar, right? He had access to the hangar, so he could go in there whenever, essentially, so he could deliver whatever stuff or take clients out for a ride, things like that. So yeah, he got bailed out at like 12:30 on Sunday, I guess Monday morning. And then within like 2 hours, he got into the plane, and at Spanish Fork, he flew out of Spanish Fork, air, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And they don't have like a tower or anything. Like they don't have any ground control. Like no one was there. You know what I mean? Like they had security, but he was totally cool to do whatever he wanted.
So can you just take off if there's no hate? Like,
Yeah, I guess so.
nice.
I mean, maybe you
I
can't,
have a story
but
about
he
that,
did.
Jeez.
So yeah, and then he was flying around his house, in Payson, and then kamikazed into it pretty much. But they were saying that he's like the reason he had so much access to it was he worked for that company for years, but that he was like a phenomenal pilot. Like he was really good as a pilot, and so he even like dodged airlines or like electric power lines. Like he could have clipped them and like caused damage to other houses, but he totally like maneuvered through them to hit his own house. That's insane. Like that's ridiculous. That plane was worth like I was trying to do a bunch of research on it. It was like $5 million or $10 million, somewhere in between there.
Okay.
So, and then it was interesting because like the son said that like the stepmom, he believed that the stepmom was unfaithful. Right, and that's what caused this whole big dispute.
Okay.
Was that there was like cheating? And so yeah, that's what happened. And then so after I found like all these news articles on it, I was like, I had an idea, and I was like, I wonder what Facebook has to say on this, right?
Yeah.
And I was like,
Good
because
old
that's
Facebook.
content right there. That'll be fun.
Facebook is the armpit.
And
of
there was
social
like,
media.
it was kind of weird because it was like, I'm not like, by any means like upset or troubled by it. You know what I mean? Like it's sad that he tried to do that. I'm glad that if he's going to be an idiot, he's the only one that got hurt.
Yep.
You know what I mean? The wife and the kid got out just fine, so that's great. But the comments were like some of them were making memes on it.
Oh.
It was like that the meme where it's like your brain activity one,
Mhm.
and it was like the first one was like talk to your wife, second was like divorce your wife, third was like beat your wife, and fourth was like crash a plane into your wife.
Oh god!
And it was so weird because it was like I was like, is this okay? Is this too soon? Like I've always been one for edgy humor, but I don't know.
It's just because it's like our hometown.
Yeah,
Like,
it's kind of weird. And then there were some people who like knew him, right? And were like not trying to defend his actions, but like trying to defend his character, like on Facebook. And so like people were like saying like kind of weird stuff. One of them was like, just like a pancake, there's always two sides. They're like, because they're like, there's two sides of the story, and
Good one,
everyone's like,
man.
and then somebody wrote back, and there's like, he literally crashed a plane into his house. Like,
One
I
side's
get you
really
know him.
fucked up,
I
man.
get you know him, but still, like, that's the facts. And then someone else wrote, he's like, he forgot to change vehicles before he tried parking in the garage.
Oh,
That's a good one.
Oh, and like it was funny because like I looked at all these posts and like they had no likes but 100 comments saying like, "Dude, too soon," or
Too
like,
soon, bro.
like what's wrong with you? And then it was like this old lady, and I don't know if she knew what she meant, but I like looked at her profile. She was like 60 or 65, and she commented and she's like, "Why not me?" Like, like why didn't the plane hit me? Is my interpretation of what she was trying to say, right? It was just like
Why
I
not
was like, I
me?
expect that kind of humor from like someone our age.
Yeah.
But why not me
Why
from
not
like an
finish me
old lady?
Sometimes old people put some wild comments on Facebook.
I know.
Like I don't
dude,
know.
there's like old people that are just ready to go. Like they're like that age, like 6 years old. Like, yeah, I think I've seen enough.
I wish a
Let me
plane
outta
would just
here.
come out of the sky and take me out. But my favorite comment, this is my favorite thing, and she just wrote, "Seems suspicious ... that so many planes ... are crashing lately." Like it was like all connected, like there's a conspiracy.
Uh-huh.
And so I wanted to message her and I kind of didn't, but I wanted to message her and like say that it was like the smoke, like it's something that they're burning in the smoke to like
To fuck
get
with
in
her?
to fuck with the minds of like the people. That's why so many planes have been crashing lately. But like I think that's so funny that somebody like says it like that.
Yeah.
Like a conspiracy is happening. Like it's kind of weird that the planes are crashing lately.
That all of the planes are crashing.
You guys
Yeah, when
remember
there's
the-
hundreds of planes in the air right now. Like
You remember when that plane went missing from like Malaysia?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was like flight 428 or something.
Yeah, and it just disappeared.
Yeah.
And I guess no one ever found it. I don't know if if anyone did find it, but
No, I don't think they ever did find
I
it.
don't think
yeah,
they did.
I haven't heard anything.
It's
But imagine
probably
if
at the
just,
bottom
like,
of the ocean.
Yeah, imagine if just like 200 people like just disappeared.
Disappeared.
Yeah, I always thought that was weird. I was always kind of interested in that story.
The idea
Yeah.
of just disappearing,
Well, just like
or
a
the plane
very
can- we
very
can
busy
lose a
flight,
plane.
a very trackable flight, just like gone.
Gone.
Like,
Yeah.
It's weird.
Well, it flew over the ocean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it flew over.
And
across,
yeah, like they
across
still
the
have black
ocean.
boxes. They should have communication the whole time, but like it's probably in the ocean.
Yeah, I know. That's why I assume it's just kind of weird because you would think they'd be like, "Okay, we lost connection or whatever here."
That's
maybe-
where it
Check
is.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's in that.
But it's like
the
you can't
deepest
like
trench of
yeah
the
you can't
ocean.
like check like pretty much anywhere in the ocean that's not the coast. You can't like. There's no way.
Oh, just imagine
you
being
think
on
they
that
flew-
plane and you're like, "Oh, we're going down really fast."
Oh,
Yeah.
imagine being the pilot of that. Like,
Ladies and gentlemen,
A couple
me?
things. Did you see that quote from Ryan Gosling?
no.
I put it on my Instagram, but he was like, the plane is going down, everyone's freaking out, and my only thought is to finish my steak. And I was like, that's dope. That's cool. That's some big dick energy. Finishing your steak when the plane's going down. Do you remember that thing in Fight Club that he says about how they drop the oxygen bags? How like it since it's just you're freaking out, you're breathing in like so much when you take that oxygen, it like makes you high pretty much because it's like just straight concentrated oxygen.
Yeah.
And so that you're like
Calm down.
peaceful. Yeah, you like calm down.
Really?
And so like and then I remember some theory that like there used to be like the way you would sit down in the case of impact would like break your neck immediately
Oh, good.
if it did it. You know what I mean?
Well,
That way
yeah.
you wouldn't drown or anything.
Well, then no, that's actually a good thing.
No.
Yeah,
I'd rather have a fighting chance. Or at least
Right.
drown.
I'd rather instantly die.
Yeah.
Like
No.
this image to instantly die.
No, I don't want to die well, I don't know. I
You're
want
right.
some kind of resolution. You know what I mean? I don't want to die out of the blue. You know what I mean? I want to
like,
have some final thoughts of
If
like,
like the plane's going down, you're like, all right, I'm gonna die.
no, it's like I could live through this. Like I think I don't know.
No, Ryan's got a point. I want to survive. I want to swim back to to the mainland. When I make it, I'm going to get into my car and then take my car drifting and roll it off a mountain and kill myself.
Yep.
Sean's done that before.
Yeah. Without it killing himself.
Yeah, I wasn't successful that time.
No, man.
Maybe next time you'll
Sometimes
get
it'd be
him.
like that.
I know what I'm doing this weekend. You in or?
Ooh, I'm in.
Okay, sweet. I'll hit you up.
Strap me to the wing.
I'll strap you on the wing and on the back of my car.
Do plane crashes freak you guys out or not so much?
Not at all.
Why not, Bray?
I know if a plane if a plane crashes, the chances of me dying are pretty high, I would assume.
Yeah.
So, like, if a plane crashes, I'll die peacefully. If it doesn't, I'm now in California. And that's good.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's true.
no fear.
Smith?
I feel like plane crashes are better than car crashes, right?
I mean,
I agree.
You have a better chance of dying instantly, but then you also have
The chance of
Maybe.
dying instantly.
you have another similar chance of like burning
Well, like
alive.
if I had to choose between a car crash and a plane crash, I think I'd choose a plane crash.
I know, but it depends on what tier. You know what I mean? Like a fender
Like-
bender versus like a...
No, like maximum tier. Like you're gonna die either way.
I feel like if you have a car crash, like you'd have a body. Do you know what I mean? It might be destroyed, like no open casket, but at least your family would have something. I feel like that'd be hard for like to not have a body.
That's true.
I don't know. That's kind of weird. It's kind
No,
of an
plane
interesting
crashes
thought.
don't scare me.
Plane crashes don't scare you. No, it's like it's totally out of your control.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's one of those things where it's like there's nothing I can do
Yeah.
about it, whether I freak out about it or I don't. It's like it's just this is completely out of my control.
Flying?
yes.
I've only done it. I did it once when I was a kid, and I did it once a couple months ago, or maybe a year ago. I like it.
I've only ever done it once.
The lift
I
off
like
always
I like
feels so
driving
cool.
though. Like I like driving to California. I could take that 10-hour drive.
Like
You know?
champ?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I like it. Like
I don't
I
like
love
flying at all.
You don't like flying?
No, it's like cool the first couple times, but then there was that period of time where I flew fairly often,
it. Yeah.
like every couple months. And like after like the fourth time, I was like, "This is ass." Like, I just like my ears hurt. I just feel like trash the whole time I'm in the air. I can't sleep. Like,
Oh
what
yeah,
am I gonna do up
you
here?
cannot feel good when you're in the air.
No, you
like you
just
just feel
don't.
uncomfortable, and it's loud, and
And the fucking baby won't shut up, dude.
maybe won't shut up. The seats suck. I don't want to upgrade to more room for
I'm
like
in the-
6 inches.
I'm in the middle. I've only gotten a window seat like once.
Being in the middle is so trash.
I know.
I've
knew
never
a
been in the
girl.
middle.
I knew a girl that was she was landing as fireworks were going off. I think that would be a very cool experience.
It would be very scary, but very cool.
I don't even think it would be scary. Just imagine looking out your window.
Visually
at night.
beautiful,
Yeah.
but kind of spooky.
Yeah, I don't know.
It'd be cool though. Definitely film it. Definitely content.
That'd be so cool.
I like that. That
yeah.
sounds cool.
Anyways,
Sean, have you ever been on a plane?
Yeah, a few times. Quite a bit actually. Like I've flown to like Michigan, flown to California, stuff like that.
Has airport security ever given you guys any problems?
yes,
Really?
they have given me problems.
Like, is this a firearm, sir? It's like, no, it's a paintball gun.
No, there's never been a problem with that. But one time I didn't know I wasn't supposed to pack shaving cream. So they thought it was a bomb because it was
Yeah.
like compressed.
Uh-huh.
So they took that one time. That was whatever. There was another time me and my dad were flying somewhere. And like I was like on like a random check, I guess.
Really?
Like they picked me out. So like my dad got in like the really fucking long line. And then they put me in the short line. And they were like, sit right there. So I sat there. And then they like thoroughly searched me for some reason. Like I don't know why.
Cavity search?
Huh?
Cavity?
Oh, what's that?
They check your cavities.
They definitely did not check any crucial cavities. I think I was a minor at the time, so anyway.
They had to bring out their minor airport TSA guy.
Another minor, he's like, bro, I'm 16.
Bro,
like,
I'm
"Oh,
16, it's
sweet."
cool.
Oh god. It's
Oh,
not gay if it's TSA.
I don't like that.
Iconic.
Yeah, but yeah, they checked me for like 15 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, like, and they were like, they checked my bag like separate times, like a couple different times. And I don't know why, but they were like, "Okay, you're good." I was like, "Why did you do that?"
I
Like, was
know
that
I'm
necessary?
good. They just have to do a certain amount of randoms every hour.
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of weird though. I didn't like it. But
I got yelled at by the lady because my pants were sagging too much when I was in the little
The spinny thing,
Yeah.
the X-ray
She
thing.
was like, "Pull your damn pants up." Sorry.
Like, don't you want to see? Like the more you see, the better
Well,
you're
like-
doing your job.
My pants were just like not that far down, like how I usually wear them. And
Yeah.
she was not having it.
So you pulled them up. Did you give in?
I pulled them like clear up. She was like higher. I was like, don't go any higher.
What do you
Do
want?
you know how
from
the
me?
male anatomy works, ma'am? I can't.
Can't. That's not how pants
Physically
work.
Cannot do that.
I think the only maybe I've driven on a couple planes. I think because I remember last time on the way back, they like ran my bag like 4 times. They're like,
Yeah.
"There's something in there that we can't identify. Is it okay if we open it up?" I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "Okay, let's see it." And and like they opened it up and they were like so careful. Like they had the dog look at it and everything.
What the heck?
And I was like, look at me, dude. Who do you think I am? Like, I mean, whatever. Do your job. God bless you. But
what was it?
it was a razor. It was like the same razor that I packed in. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and they didn't give him problems then. They were like, huh? Yeah, it was just shaped weird, like with some other things. So it kind of looked like a gun. Like, oh yeah, cool. Yeah, no, not a gun. Then, yeah,
Leave you now.
there's all sorts of crazy stories though of like someone's like electric razor that's gone off and so it's like vibrating and everyone's like this is gonna blow.
We have to, when we used to travel for paintball, we had to take our air tanks because they're compressed air
Uh-huh.
and they're filled to like 4,500 psi.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like if that thing blew up, it'd fuck you up pretty hard.
Yeah.
So we have to like undo the tanks.
Yeah, they have to be, like,
the
empty.
regulators. Yeah, they have to be completely empty. And like one time my teammate didn't do that. And the TSA gave him a lot of shit because that thing actually could be a bomb. Like it's, yeah.
Especially if you like increased elevation to,
Oh, yeah.
20,000 feet.
Yeah, I don't know if it would do anything to it, but like it would definitely not be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, he got some shit for it, so he had to like drain it, and then we had to pry it off. It's pretty hard, but we did it.
That's wild.
Jeez.
We're gonna be flying a plane. Not flying a plane. I hope.
Boys, you got me a plane.
Yeah, Dobry Brothers prank. We're gonna be on a plane to San Diego in
Yes.
a couple of months.
Yes,
November.
Mhm.
What are we doing, boys?
We're gonna see Poppy.
Poppy.
I'm gonna see my future wife,
Oh yeah?
Poppy.
Hell yeah, dude.
Not if I see her first.
I don't know if you guys are really gonna see her that well. I'm actually doing a meet and greet with her, so
No, you're going to be possessed, and you're gonna come back a robot.
I might,
Yeah.
but at least I get to meet her.
If you guys don't know who
That doesn't
Poppy
sound
is,
too bad.
please just search in the YouTube search bar Poppy. That's it.
Let's
That's
say
all you
It'll
have
be
to
a
search.
10-minute video saying I'm Poppy.
Poppy.
But yeah, no, her music is fire.
Her moves-
And so
her
we
music's
decided
pretty
it
good.
kind of started out as a joke between me and Andrew. He's been on the podcast before. You
Yeah.
guys know Hoff. Where we were like, I was like, dude, next time she comes, even if it's not in Utah, we're going. And then like she announced the tour like the next week, and then we were like, dude, let's go. And then we're all like, and then it kind of turned into like, yo, we should all go.
Yeah.
Should we invite Smith? Yeah, invite Smith. That'll be fun. And so now us four and Andrew will be going out November 1st through November 5th. Or 6th or something like that. We come back. Yeah, because
Come
her
back
birthday's
today.
the 4th.
Yep.
Yeah, so we'll be there. We'll celebrate Smith's birthday.
So from the 1st to the 5th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1st to 5th.
We'll see. We'll go to the San Diego Zoo. That'll be
Ooh,
fun.
Are we doing that?
Yeah.
Lit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have extra time because the concert's November 1st.
So that
And so we'll
Thursday.
we'll head out, that Thursday morning. Oh, hang out all day. See the show.
Yeah.
Friday, we can do whatever. Saturday, whatever. Sunday, whatever. Then fly back Sunday or Monday. Or
I'm sure we'll come back with some interesting stories for you. I'm sure
Content for
I'm
sure.
we'll bring you some icy hot content.
But yeah,
Ice.
no, I paid $100 for the confessional with Poppy.
It's gonna be scary. dude.
Confessional?
Yeah, it's a confessional. So apparently
What's
it's
she gonna
formatted
confess?
like a confessional, like with I don't know what church does it. It's like the Catholics or I think it's the Catholics. But like the Father I've sinned and there's like the barrier in between you.
What?
Oh yeah.
I think that's what it's supposed to be like.
Yeah,
Is like,
that's-
hey Poppy, I've sinned. But I'm trying to think of like good sins to tell her.
If you guys don't know, Poppy has a church. It's this the Poppy Church.
Poppy's
You
a
can-
straight up Satanist.
what?
This is
She's-
awesome.
Yeah, no, she is.
Ah, cool.
If you look at all of her like symbolisms and everything, it's all like the devil.
Oh, sweet! Can't wait.
And yeah, it's crazy. I'm kind of spooked because I feel like what if it's like weird shit when I get there? She's like, you have to sacrifice this like lamb or something, and I just like slit its throat. Or like I get possessed by a demon there's a high chance of that. They kill me and I get like replaced with a robot is something I've considered could happening.
Or you just come back completely brainwashed.
Yeah. No, here's my fear is like you guys don't see me the rest of the day and you freak out, and then like the police report is like, oh yeah, he walked down the street and he got mugged or he got shot or like he like overdosed on something. It's like I've never done drugs in my life, and you know that you guys know, and all the people listening here is that Poppy did it. It wasn't me. But what should I confess? Is there anything that you guys think I should confess to her?
Confess that you have a podcast.
I have a podcast, Poppy.
Like, wow.
I'm so sorry for sending you this link. What's your number? I'm so sorry for asking you to plug us. Would you plug us, Poppy?
Poppy.
No, have you seen that meme where it's like not a sin, but still weird? Or something?
The what?
Not a sin, but still weird.
I think I know what you're talking about. Give me an example. Do you know?
Well, there's only one is the problem. Otherwise, I would use that exclusively.
Uh-huh.
But there's one where it's like, sometimes when when I was in the bath once, I let the cat drink out of the bathtub while I was in it. And it was like not a sin, but still weird.
I feel like
Again,
you could come up with some weird stuff. Like,
I
it's not
feel like
bad,
I could, but I'm not. I can't figure out any, and I've been thinking about it for months. Like ever since I bought the ticket. What's something that's not a sin but weird? Any ideas?
I can't think of any right now. That's like a very niche thing to think about.
If anyone has any, please send them in.
It just kind of comes to your head, yeah. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna see Poppy. It's gonna be lit. She has cool music. We're gonna have a nice bro trip to the beach. We're going to make Sean hug a jellyfish.
Oh, you're not
going
gonna
to the
make
beach,
me.
huh?
I thought that was
Is
the
San
plan.
Diego in the beach? It's probably beach area,
I'm sure
right?
it's close enough.
San Diego has a good beach.
Okay, then yeah, we'll go to the beach. That'll be fun.
Are there any nude beaches?
I hope.
Probably. Where's the glass beach? I want to hit up that. Have you ever heard of that?
Glass
I want to
like
go
all
full
glass.
nude at a beach.
Dog.
You can
We
do
can
that
go
at any beach, dude. We'll just bail you out later.
We're all getting Brazilian waxes and we're going to the beach.
Oh,
we?
I'm in.
All right.
I'd do it.
Sweet.
I'd do the Brazilian wax for the joke.
Smith, what do you
I'm
think?
down for the whole thing.
Be completely hairless from the eyebrows down. That'd be nice.
Can I have the
Sean will be
forehead
one
down?
step closer to being a hairless ape.
We have to shave his head. Sean, would you shave your head to be?
Sean,
able
would
to
you be
reach?
completely hairless?
Oh,
Would you
I've-
commit?
Like eyebrows and everything.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Like pluck out my eyelashes, shave my eyebrows,
Yep.
shave my head.
Yeah.
Everything
Armpits,
but,
legs,
Take
stomach,
a bath
chest.
in there.
not
Oh.
everything but my eyebrows and eyelashes, because I hear that those could potentially not grow back.
Oh, that would be bad. You'd look like you don't notice it for the most part,
Until
but if
they're
somebody
not there.
didn't have them, they look insane.
I would just have to
eyebrows?
pretend like I have alopecia for the rest of my life. That's not how I'm trying to live.
That would be a wicked lifestyle, let me tell you.
You'd have to wear sunscreen all the time. Your head would get burnt.
There's like this. Wasn't there a guy at our high school who had alopecia?
I don't even know what alopecia is.
It's where you're
like you just
completely
don't grow
hairless.
hair, yeah.
You don't grow hair. Yeah.
I don't remember that. I would have noticed that, dude.
Yeah.
I think
Like
I know who you're
skinhead?
talking
There's this
about.
bald guy. He had no eyebrows, no eyelashes, no
Because
hair
I
whatsoever.
remember something like that, but I thought he had eyebrows, but like they were very like light blonde
That
and
could
like
be
they
true.
were very thin, but he didn't have hair, like a head of hair.
That could
And
pretty
he was
weird.
like a kid. He was like a teacher, or
He was a teacher. He was a
he was
pretty
a
old guy.
teacher.
Yeah.
He was an old guy, so it looked normal for him to not have hair.
Huh.
But
Yeah.
if like you looked at his
There was,
face,
like,
you'd be
something off.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Huh.
He looked like Mr. Clean.
Have you seen those memes where they like sexualize Mr. Clean?
I understand. Like
He's
Mr.
a big old
Um,
beefy dude.
he's
Like
hot,
he's got
dude.
a big old white teeth smile.
Let's be honest. He's been sexualized since the beginning.
He has. I mean, he's like I feel like, you know, a man who cleans real good. That caters to most women's desires. You know what I mean? Because I feel like men make the women clean.
He has a job. He's well known, well built, firm looking
Got
man.
a firm reputation.
He's got a nice car.
A nice sense of style.
He
He's got a nice hammer.
He's packing a hammer, eh?
But yeah, he's got to clean.
What?
Huh?
How does a hammer? What is a hammer?
Wait,
Dude, when Mr. Clean is
what?
paired with Arm & Hammer, baking
Yeah,
soda. is-
What
and-
do you think I'm talking about?
Oh no, I'm just saying he's packing a hammer. He's
Yeah,
off,
I thought, me too.
Okay.
It's probably a big one.
Yeah.
Probably
A arm and a hammer.
Arm
a
and
big
hammer.
fucking hammer.
hammer and a sickle.
Yeah.
Whoa. Oh.
The Communist Manifesto.
Have
What-
you read that?
No, why would I read the Communist
I've read it.
Manifesto?
I've read it, or I've
You've
read
read
a
it?
good portion of it. Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. It's crazy. It's weird. I read it for a philosophy class.
Oh,
in
yeah?
college. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. A little bit of the Communist Manifesto.
I was at a
It's,
Barnes and Nobles. I checked out one.
It's it's not the worst
My
thing
local
you've ever read.
library.
I mean,
I mean, it's
it's
official.
kind of interesting.
Yeah. Do we have any other things on the?
No, we'll save the emu war for a later date.
That's a whole topic in itself.
I've seen the Emu War on there for a while, and it's built quite a long list.
Yeah.
I don't.
Emu War?
Have you heard of the Great Emu
I
War?
have not.
You have to tune into
Well-
one of our episodes up and coming. Maybe it's episode 50. We'll see.
It won't be episode 50. I will tell you right
We'll
now.
see. I mean, we might play around with it. Just see what happens.
So many emus gave
Just
their
the few
lives.
things I've read are just the most wild. Like,
It is a wild tale. It's an only in Australia kind of thing.
I was going to say, was it an Australian
yeah.
thing?
Yeah. No, with America, Utah used to have emus, and
what?
What?
the Great America Emu War.
Like they would just roam
no,
around?
no, they didn't.
Oh.
I was
My
like, are you
grandpa
kidding?
raised ostriches and emus for like
Yeah.
15 years.
Yeah, he had story. Didn't you? I
Some
remember you
say.
telling
Yeah.
me some cool stories
Still
Yeah,
about
like
that.
when they would get out, it was too hard to like get them back into the cage, so we would just shoot them.
Just drop them. Did you ever
Yeah.
pull the trigger on one?
No, I didn't. I was like 10. So
like,
but
get
I
in the
remember
cage.
because we would try. We'd be like, all right, we're gonna try to get him back in for like a half hour.
Only
If we
a
can't
half
do
hour?
it, because they would just like run everywhere and they'd start running up the street.
Imagine hitting one of those with your car.
Yeah, big bird.
You're like that. There's a bird in the street far away. Oh,
Just
that's
sprint,
close.
just full
And
sprint.
it just
Yeah.
takes out your whole car.
No, they were mean.
They're scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, have you seen? Did you see him get shot?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We were.
You've
so you're-
seen some shit, my dude. Like,
You've seen war.
So you're telling me an ostrich got out of its cage and you attempted to capture it for 30 minutes,
Because
and if you couldn't, you would shoot it.
Yeah, with the 12 gauge.
I can just imagine that there was a first time for that. Like there was like the first bird to get out. You guys were chasing it forever, and then you're just like, you know what? Fuck this. Like,
30
Just get the gun.
We will get another ostrich. I'm over it. Just kill
he
him.
had like 15, so it was like, whatever. Just shoot him.
What did you do? Eat it? Like,
No, we tried it a few times. It was fucking nasty.
whoa.
We also like scrambled one of their eggs.
I hear ostrich eggs are good. They're
No,
a delicacy
it
in
was
some
no
places.
good.
They're huge.
It made enough scrambled eggs for like 20 people. It was
that
so
in
good.
itself it's kind of
Yeah.
tight.
Is that legal?
To kill an ostrich?
I don't know.
I hope so.
We did it a lot though. See, the emus weren't bad though. They behaved themselves.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they saw enough of those ostriches and they learned.
Did the emus ever get out or no?
Mm-mm. And if they did, they wouldn't like run around. They would just kind of like walk, and we could just like form like a half circle and like get them back in their cage.
They were
Like the
so those ones are.
ostriches, they would get out, and you'd like try and form like a half circle, and they would just like charge you. So you're just like, all right, fuck, I'm just gonna shoot it.
Just kill it, burn it with fire.
Pulled the trigger.
All the little emus are kind of just looking around like,
Yeah,
what happened to
ostriches are mean,
Jeremy?
but what's his name? Emus are fast.
Yeah.
If they
Oh,
they
no,
sprint
yeah.
at 30 miles an hour.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. But we'll
What
get
are
to
they-
that at a later date with
what
the
are they
great
native to?
emu war, Australia.
They're
Dude,
native to
birds
Australia.
by themselves are just so mean.
Yeah.
I got
what's
bit
up
by a
with them?
swan once. I'm not even kidding.
So did I.
I was like 6
Really?
years old and I was fishing, and the
Aw.
swan just came at me and bit me, and then like my cousin came and like kicked it or something.
Hated?
No, it was like he was older. He was like 20 at the time, and I was like, "Oh my fucking swan just bit me."
I feel like they smell fear.
Probably. I was like, "Oh, look at the fucking duck," and it was this ginormous swan, and my dad's
You
like,
call me a duck?
Yeah, and that bit me, and then yeah, it was a long story. It's not good. Anyway, I won't share that part.
We We used to catch ducks back in high school for some reason. I don't know why.
And then what?
And then, so
Tell me the second half to the story, please.
I think we used to catch them at it was like a pond. There's like in Springville. Like if you
Okay.
like the Payson exit.
I know
Like
what
if you
you're
get on
talking
Payson
about.
and you try to go to the back way to Springville,
Yeah.
there's like a pond and there's always like
Ducks.
ducks there.
Mm.
And one year we put a bunch of it might have been my
Let's
car, it
catch
might have been
these
somebody
things.
else's car. And we put a bunch of newspaper in the back and we're like, yo, we're gonna go catch some ducks. It's like 11 o'clock at night. So we load up the car and we catch them. Like it was Daniel Stodmeister. And there was one that was outside of the water and he like sprinted after it and dove for it. And he got it. Like he got it. And then we threw it in the car.
No.
And then I think we got another one.
What did you do with these ducks?
So we took him. Daniel had a farm, and so we took him to Daniel's farm and like named them, and we like they were like our pets, right, for like a week, and we made an Instagram for one of them because it was during soccer season, so we would bring it to the soccer games
What?
and try to put it on a leash. And so there's a big photo with like 50 people, and I'm like holding this duck. It's freaking cool. And the Instagram had like 100 followers. After like 3 days, we just
That's
got
funny.
all these people following this duck account. And then like the next day, we were like, we need to clip the wings, or they're gonna get away. And
Aw.
the next day, they got away.
Good.
The
oh,
duck escaped,
but I
so we're
remember-
like, shoot it.
I remember they used to do I wasn't here for this, but I remember one time they did this thing. They tried to. It was like doorbell ditching, but it was ducking. They went and picked up a duck, and they knew that there was this party going on at some girl's house, right? And it wasn't like a big old party. It was like a low key, like close friends party.
Uh-huh.
And so they opened up the door and threw the duck in, closed the door, and ran away. And and like they said that there was like Snapchats all night of like, holy crap, the duck got in my house. Everyone's like, yeah, that's wild. Like, how does that happen?
You guys ever doorbell ditch when you were younger?
All the
yeah.
time.
All the time.
Yeah?
All the time.
It's very fun stories.
There was a dude who lived down the street who used to paintball. He would get on his four-wheeler and paintball any kid that he thought did it.
Whoa,
And so, like, you would doorbell
that's
ditch
like
him.
illegal.
It is, heavily.
Yeah.
And he would, like, chase him down. He was a nut. And he would, like, just shoot up kids for doorbell ditching him.
Damn. Going hard.
Do you remember...
That's high stakes doorbell ditch.
That
I
is
know.
I like
nice.
that.
Sean, were you there when Sean Richardson tried to light a bag of shit on fire on someone's porch?
I don't think I was, but that sounds accurate.
Yeah, Sean tried to do that at one point.
Did it work?
I don't think it did. I think the fire kept going out.
That's a
But
shame.
we tried that. But yeah, no, we were avid doorbell ditchers back in the day.
We used to always bread ball. You guys ever bread ball?
My buddy
Yeah.
did, and
Yeah.
it sounded interesting. Bread. It's just a ball of bread, and it sounds like a rock hits your
Yeah.
car when you throw it at them. But it
Yeah.
doesn't do anything
Yeah.
We got chased a lot.
People
for
would
that.
lose their minds
Oh,
over
yeah.
that.
because they think there's a big ass dent in their car.
Yeah, I think their car's destroyed.
Yeah.
Do you have any stories of that, Smith?
Well, we just did it at a park in Salem where we could, like, it was just like an open field behind us. Probably the scariest time, because I was like, this was like 7th, 8th, 9th grade.
Yeah.
Was we saw a cop coming down, and I was like, I'm gonna hit it. And everyone's like, everyone's like, Smith, this is a bad idea. Don't do it. I'm like, we can just run if he stops. So I hit it, and as soon as I hit it, he flips his lights on and flips around. So we all start taking off. And he sits and drives around that. We're like hiding just like in some guy's backyard, and he just driving around the neighborhood for like an hour and a half. We're just like sitting there, just like scared as fuck to like do
Oh
anything.
my gosh.
That's
But he
so
didn't get
funny.
you?
Didn't get us.
You're like, I'm gonna hit him. Everyone's like, that's a
Please
bad
don't.
idea. I watch this. Like, dumb.
No, because we used to always have cops drive by. Because you'd hit a couple cars and they would stop and like try and find you, and then they would call the cops and be like, "Hey, there's some kids causing a ruckus."
Ruckus.
So we were always like, "Don't hit the cops," but this time was a little different.
Oh, man. Imagine if you all went down for that.
Oh, no
Dude,
good.
I have
my criminal record would have been longer.
dude. Do you know my buddy Matthew? Matt Mendonça?
Yeah.
Yeah, he came. Yeah, anyway. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if I remember this right. I feel like there was 2 people there. Maybe it was just him. I don't know. But I was a kind of a pussy when I was younger, and I didn't want to do stuff like that. I was like, I'm gonna get in trouble.
Yeah, that's how I was.
Yeah. So I would like. I remember one time he was like avid on doing this thing with a garbage bag, and I was like, yeah, not my thing. I'll watch. Like I just didn't. Did not want to be involved. And I remember I was like, it was like just dark enough to where like it was pretty dark. And I was like across the street, like behind this bush. And he got in a garbage bag and cut holes in the bottom.
I've
like,
seen that. Yeah.
No. And I really didn't think he would do anything. And he cut holes in the bottom, like so he could like stand up.
Mm-hmm.
So basically he could see through the garbage bag enough. And he was sitting in this and I was like in like 6th grade or something. Like I was pretty young. And he's like sitting on the porch, just like sitting there. And like he would ring the doorbell or like with his face or whatever, because he didn't have arms. But he was just like sitting there. And like they opened the door and he walked in like in
Really?
a garbage bag, and he was in there for like 20 seconds. No, and I was like
they let him in?
like they opened the door and he just kind of like waddled in his garbage bag, and I was like, what?
How? How does that go on that long?
No, I don't know. He walked in and I can't imagine what happened. I don't remember what he told me.
We need to get him on just to clear the record.
No, yeah,
just to figure that out.
I'm pretty sure it was him. It was either him or someone else I knew. Or maybe it was this other kid, Ty.
No, I've seen it where they like ring the doorbell and then like sit back down.
Yeah,
and so it looks like a thing of garbage, and then like when they go near it, like you jump up and you run off.
Yeah, no,
that
he
would
walked,
scare me, dude. That would
and, like,
freak me out.
He walked in the house, and I remember sitting there, and I was like, "What the fuck? Like, is this?"
Imagine
just
if he
what you
never
do?
came out again.
Yeah, no,
The
seriously.
door just closes.
No, and I remember he ran out of the front door, and then he ran down the street, and I was still sitting there, and I was like, "What just happened? Like, that was wild." Have you guys ever done? Okay, well, we're on the topic of pranks and such. I never did it myself, but I wanted to. My friend always did this thing with mannequin heads. That sounded fairly fun.
How do you get access to mannequin heads?
His friend's mom was like a hairdresser,
Uh-huh.
so they would like the used
have
mannequin
the-
heads that they would practice on for hair, and he would take those. I guess he would buy them because they were like
Yeah.
$20. Like this just a mannequin head,
Uh-huh.
and he would buy it, and he would get a big hoodie and then put it on top of his head, and then put
Oh,
the hood
yeah.
on, and then cut out eyes so like he could like stand there. And I guess I don't know. He would like ring the doorbell, and then he would run out to the front lawn, and then like walk in circles or like hold hands with his other buddies that also had mannequin heads.
Oh,
in their
spooky.
head. And he would just go like, just make these noises. And it sounded really fun. Like,
That's kind of funny.
yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine. I don't know
Yeah.
anything bad coming from it. It would just be kind of like, what the fuck are these kids doing on my lawn?
I remember one time I came home and I think it was Morgan Malm,
Ah.
but he drew like a pentagram on my on my porch, and in the middle was like it was like pudding that he made, and I was like, is this pudding? He's like, yeah, it's a treat for you, and I was like, I'm not gonna eat this. It was surrounded by a pentagram, and I don't really trust you. But yeah,
Your curiosity didn't just get the best of you there?
no.
Oh, man.
Have you guys ever seen that thing? The Maine used to do it when they were kids. They always talk about it on our podcast. It was like the supermarket suite. Suite is what it called.
No.
But it's essentially like you order food, right? And when you're at the drive-thru, you know those videos where like they're handing you the bag of food, and then somebody runs by and grabs the
yeah.
bag of food and books it.
Yeah.
They have a whole bunch of stories of people like chasing them down for that instead of like waiting to just get their meal again.
Yeah.
People like floor it and follow them, and like just nutcases like are like out for blood. I think that's so funny.
That is funny.
I feel like we should do that.
Yeah.
Just like
let's do
when
it.
Smith's at the drive-thru, one of us just like waits and just runs for it and grabs it.
Grabs
Because I
it.
wonder what the employees would do. It's not like they could charge you again.
Well, then listen, we get double free food.
Then we get double the free.
'Cause
Yeah,
then-
that's what they
I'll
would
be
do.
like, shit.
I'll
And
be
that's
like,
what they
the
would do.
fuck? Like, give me more food. And they'll be like, all right, one second.
We'll order like a 48-piece chicken nugget, like the thing that McDonald's has started offering, and then
Are they doing
I'll run
that?
by. Yeah, they have.
That's
it.
a
It's
thing?
It's like 48 pieces or something weird. Yeah. So then I'll run by, grab it. Smith will be like, "Oh, what the fuck?" And I'll go sit in a bush and like start eating them, and then we can all get together.
Then we'll have 100 pieces.
No, and then they'll come out to hand me another one. Then one of you guys will run by and grab it.
They're like, okay, what the fuck, man? You're like, I don't know.
We've hacked
They
the
would find
system.
out we're in cahoots.
After we do it like 6 times, yeah, they'll be like, all right, no, no.
All right, bro, go chase him down. We're done.
Would you guys ever get into coning?
I did do that.
Oh,
I did
what was that again? I like
That's
remember
what-
the
you-
word.
you
but I
grab-
don't-
ice cream
you
cones.
grab the ice cream cone by the ice cream instead of the cone. You just grab it and then you just say thanks and drive off. I tried doing it at an Arctic Circle once, but tried eating it with my mouth. And since it was such a big thing, like they were crazy suspicious. So I was like, "Hey, can I get a courtesy cone?" And they were like, "Yeah, are you gonna cone us?" I was like, "What? No, would never even think of that." and so like she's handing it to me and staring me in the eye, and like I was like, so it's like I just tried to dive for it and grab it with my mouth.
Fuck
So wait,
off.
why was
She's
it
too
such a
quick.
big deal? Like, why did the employees care so much? Because I remember at the time wondering why that was such a big prank. Because like,
Well, it was like
it wasn't at their expense.
no, it was just goofy because you would be like, "Here's your ice cream," and then you'd grab it by the top and like flip it upside down and eat the cone, and they'd be like, "Come on, man! Like, why you gotta do
Come
this?" I specifically
Why you gonna
remember I
disrespect
did
ice
it.
cream like that?
I remember I did it at Stone Drug once. My friend Bridger Watch, he recorded it,
Uh-huh.
but like I don't know if you've ever had Stone Drug's ice cream, but it's very soft. And I remember I grabbed the top of it and I tried to flip it, and the cone stayed in her hand, and I was like,
It just.
"Oh fuck,
What do we do?
I was
What
like,
do I
I
do
made,
now?
I was like, I made a.
It
vital
appears we're at
mistake.
an impasse.
And then I think she just like put the cone on the counter and was like, "This stupid kid." And I'm like holding this ice cream, making an absolute mess of the place. I also did it at Sonic once. I was outside. I was like sitting down, and he gave me the cone, and like I grabbed it, flipped it upside down. Haha, good one. And then like Bridger was like playing a game on his phone, and he was like, "What game are you playing?" He like did not give a shit about me at all, and I was like, "Oh man, what? Oh man."
Smith, did you need anything like that ring a bell for
I
you?
remember we used to like just when we would order drinks, they would hand it like at McDonald's. We would grab it by the lid and like kind of pull the lid up, so then they'd like go to the drink and it'd just fall all over. But they'd be like, "Give me a new drink." And they'd be like, "All right." But
McDonald's, man. They
they just don't even care.
don't
It's
even
like,
care.
All right, man. Yeah, whatever.
Do you have any run-ins with the law? Any good stories that you'd like to share?
Okay, I've got quite a few run-ins with the law.
Do you have any
We'd
funny
love to hear
ones?
him. The best ones, yeah.
Any
There's
funny
some solid
ones?
ones, yeah.
I remember one time in high school we got busted for street racing. I was in my protege. I had my protege.
No.
And
I think it was a
my
monster.
buddy had a Cavalier. We were like
Wow, you guys are really racing,
oh,
huh?
yeah. No, we were just like in like it was like Center Street in Salem, so like super obvious. And then some dude in his Honda Civic that went to school pulled up and was like wanted to race, so we like all raced. And then we like left it from there, and then all of a sudden like 4 cops out of nowhere just like start following us and pull us over and just start cussing us out about how we put so many lives in danger and stuff, and how he's gonna tow all of our cars and stuff. I was like 16. I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Did you get out of it okay?
Yeah. Well, it ended up he was like, because my dad works with the police,
Yeah.
so he's like, "Wait, who are you?" I was like,
Like, I'm Jeffrey Nelson, bitch. You can't touch me. You ain't got shit, sir.
One of my buddies, his dad was also a cop in Salem. He got us out of a lot of shit.
Nice.
I remember one time we were kind of fucking with this van at the high school parking lot, full of a bunch of just like douchebags that went to our school. And they chased us for a while and called their friends who called their friends. So we had like 3 cars chasing us, and they were like throwing shit at our car. At one point they got us surrounded like out in Benjamin, and one guy was huge, probably like 6'4", like 200 pounds, like this giant guy. And he stood in front of the car. He's like, "You guys aren't going anywhere." We're like, what the fuck? So we like lock the doors and then like all start coming up to the car. So my buddy just gasses it and runs his foot over.
Oh shit!
Comes to school the next day with the cast on. Yeah. Anyway, they never found out it was us, but we like went back to high school. We like, my friend called us dad and was like, "Oh, we're in some deep shit right now," because they were like beyond pissed at this point. So he like pulls them over and like harasses them, gives them shit while we like get the fuck out of there.
That's insane.
Yeah, but then after, the next day when he shows up to school with the cast, we're like, oh shit. Because at first we're like, did you really run his foot over? So,
That's weird, dude.
That's insane.
and he like knew it was like one of my friends by his car. So he's like, if you ever find so-and-so, tell him I'm going to kick his fucking ass. I don't know,
Did
man.
people just not see that car at school or what? Because like, did he drive that car to
Well,
It
school?
was just an everyday
No,
car.
they like knew what car he drove and stuff. And they like put a bunch of dents in it too, like a bunch of pretty noticeable dents. So like if you see this Volkswagen Jetta with like 2 dents in the driver's side door,
Kill him.
kill him.
Bounty on
Run
their
his
head.
foot over.
So did he drive the Jetta to school then?
Yeah.
And no one ever gave a shit?
Nope.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's so funny. Any other good stories worth
That was a
sharing?
good one.
Um,
That
Damn.
is a phenomenal story.
I don't know. I gotta think. I feel like we did a lot of stupid shit in high school.
Yeah.
I'm sure we all have to some extent.
Yeah. I don't know how many times I had any run-ins with the law, except that one that we had with the works bomb.
Oh yeah.
The works bomb.
Uh-huh.
We were, you know what works bombs are, right?
Yeah.
You remember those?
So-
Isn't it like the works and then just tinfoil balls?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So
Plastic bottle.
Yeah, we made these works bombs. And we were like, blowing them up at the elementary school, like not during school, like it was like in summertime. And so then like we like started like walking off and everything. And from my perspective, like I walked through like this catwalk because we were headed to Ryan's house, and like nobody was following me. I was like, oh, maybe like they're off like lighting like another bomb or something. So I start walking back and I see like Sean Richardson and Jared Nilsson, both their hands on a police car, and the policeman's searching them. And then I was like, I mean, I could just like walk away right now, but
Where's
Never-
the story?
where's the story? So
Where's
I
the
went and I
story?
like walked right up to the cop and I was like, hey, like what's going on? He was like, put your hands on the vehicle. And then it wasn't like we weren't arrested, but he like drove us home.
Mm.
But
Yeah, I remember.
No.
Like me and half the squad and me, we dipped. We saw the cop, we were gone. We were out of there.
Done.
And then like somebody would like when we got back to my house, like, we sprinted to my house and we were like out of breath. And someone's like, they got arrested. They're done for. They're gonna rat us out. And we're like,
They're going to
they
jail.
didn't. No one got arrested. And then they got like detained.
there's like this weird dude there. He
Am
had
I
like a
being
handlebar
detained?
mustache and everything.
Am I free to
like-
leave?
He was like chewing out, I think like Jared. He knew him somehow. But he was like, I'm gonna tell your dad. He'd be so disappointed. Man, wow, I can't believe that you've done something like this. And he was just this weird dude. No one knew him, but he just
Went off.
God.
He went for it.
Freaking mustache. Anyway. Any other stories?
We doorbelled this shit kid to the point where a cop just sat on that street every Friday and Saturday night. Yeah. It got bad. Like we got the police heavy involved because we hated this kid's guts. Like, fuck this kid. I still hate him to this day.
Who is it?
I'm not gonna say his name.
Does he listen to our podcast?
I don't know. I'm sure someone that knows him does though.
Cool.
Sweet.
Plug us.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
I'm sure if he's listening he knows who he is. So fuck you.
Well, yeah, he got doorbell ditched every weekend
Oh,
for
No, we doorbell
for
that shit and we
years.
would be at a movie and like have a bunch of extra popcorn and like dump it on his porch or
Aw.
I mean we fucking tormented the shit out of his house and he deserved it though. Anyway, they put up like security cameras. We would just like put masks on and stuff to the point where
just for like petty shit
Yeah.
too.
Oh,
You just
yeah.
they just invested thousands of dollars because these
mask
kids
on.
won't stop doorbell ditching them.
so they
The simple solution is just unplug the doorbell. on weekends, or
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But they were like crazy. It got to the point where they would wait outside for us. Like they would like hide behind like their trucks and stuff, wait for us to doorbell ditch. And as soon as we do, they'd start chasing us. So it was like
You're
a game to
making it
us.
worse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like we would love to go up and just like doorbell ditch them and see if we could like get to the car. And like we did every time we got to the car, and they would like throw something at our car, or, like trying to catch us. It was so funny.
Again.
Yeah. So it got to the point where they got the police involved, and then eventually got the school involved. But got the police involved where the cop would just sit there and we would drive by and like, oh fuck, we can't do
So
it.
you guys
tonight.
were doing this when you could drive.
Uh-huh.
Like when
Oh,
you were
yeah.
16.
We were not fucking around with this.
See,
This
I
is
haven't
some
doorbell
serious
ditched anyone in 15 years.
No.
I was, I don't know. I remember I was at my cousin's. He lived in Cedar City. This was quite a while ago. I was probably like 14. But he didn't like this kid at school. He's quite a bit older than me. He was probably like 17 at the time. And he hated this kid at school. And he egged his like roof. And he threw eggs all over his roof.
Yeah.
And I think I was down there for it, but I didn't like go with him. He went out with his friends.
Uh-huh.
And I was just like at their house staying like for the weekend. He egged them, and the next day I think like a cop came, and like I remember his name's Will. He had to leave, and I was like, huh, that was weird. I didn't really ask too much about it because I was hanging out with Hayden.
Yeah.
It's Hayden's brother, and he came back and he had to clean off all the eggs off of the roof.
Uh-huh.
And it was like thousands of dollars in like damages that I guess
Yeah.
they caught him for. And like he had to clean it all and pay it all back. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you throw stuff on like the stucco of a house,
Yeah.
it doesn't come off.
It was all the shingles. He had to like replace
Yeah.
all the shingles. I was like, dude.
Oh,
That's crazy.
No, this lady like went off on him too.
That's insane. Have you
No.
guys ever... Oh, sorry. What were you going to say?
No, you can go.
You guys ever heard of that? So you know how there's like instant potatoes
Yeah.
Putting that
that
in the grass.
activate? Yeah, that activate with water.
Yeah.
So I remember seeing pictures of like people throwing it on like full fields and like
Oh.
destroying the field because it's just full of potatoes. That's insane.
I remember forking. I've done that before.
Yeah,
They
I
shove
remember
a bunch
forking.
of forks in their lawn, and they're like, "Come on, man."
Oh.
Take these out.
That was a,
Where did
that
you
was a
find the
funny
time
one.
to do this?
Toilet papering has been kind of fun. I've done that before.
Yeah.
We used to steal the toilet paper from, there's this big like house development area where we used to just open up the porta potties and steal the toilet paper out of. So there would be points where my buddy's like trunk was like full to the top of toilet paper, and we were like,
I gotta
okay,
steal
we're
it.
gonna do tonight. We also used to, there was an elementary school that was like by a main road in Salem. They had those, those like big long metal bike racks where you could put like 20 bikes on.
Yeah.
They had like 3 of them, and we'd always like carry them and like put them in the middle of the road so like no one could drive on that road.
Wait,
They were
what
just,
would you put in the
heavy as
middle of the
fuck.
road?
Like those big old bike racks.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Like where you lock your bike
Yeah.
too.
I remember me and my buddy, we toilet papered a house once, and like they were like we were like, oh yeah, we're getting them. They had a ton of trees. We were like wrapping it up really good, doing an elaborate job. And then I remember I looked up, and then someone was in the window, not looking at me, but they were playing piano. And like if he looked probably 4 inches to the left, he would have saw me just staring at him. But he was just sitting there playing piano, and I was like, oh fuck, we have to leave, because he was like right there, and he could definitely see his whole yard. I don't know what he was doing, but that was pretty freaky. So we like left right after that.
That's funny.
Yeah. Also, oh sorry, what?
No, you go.
The Matthew again.
Uh-huh.
He's banned from a Taco Bell in Bountiful because he would. I wasn't there for any of this, but he would always walk in and take their trays and leave, like the big stack of trays and leave. And I guess Taco Bell didn't like that. So, but there was a point. I was still in high school where he came down to Spanish Fork and he was like, "Bro, you want to do something fun?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, why not? Like, what are we doing?" He's like, "Okay, I'm going to open up my trunk, but don't freak out." And I'm like, all right. And he would open his trunk, and I shit you not, there had to be like 500 trays in the back of his trunk, dude. Like Taco Bell had to probably order more trays because this kid took them all. I was like, holy shit, where'd you get all these? He's like, I'm banned from Taco Bell. I was like, oh, cool. And then, but basically, we would go to like this elementary school or elementary schools, whatever.
Put
And
them underneath the tire.
Yep, put
Yeah.
underneath the back
Right.
tires, and if it's like a front wheel drive thing, and
Yeah, that's classic.
and we would fucking drift that thing until the tray disappeared and put another one down because he had so many. Like we could do it all night. Like it was fun. Yeah,
That's awesome.
Just pull the e-brake and then
I want to pull a prank. I've always wanted to pull a winter prank where you just fill the street with snowmen. Like you just have like 50, like in my street, my cul-de-sac, you just fill that bitch up with snowmen all over.
Yes.
You had to leave the next morning and no one like did anything about it. Like then what?
So be it.
There's just a nice path
Like, I
between
can't-
the snowmen coming from your driveway.
Well, there's like there's a maze that only I know. Like, oh yeah, I plowed it out this morning. That's why there's none in my road.
You're like, sorry, I can't come into work today. Someone put snowmen all over my block. Kind of weird.
It's like
Kind of weird.
50 of them.
We would have to be up all night making.
Worth it. Do you know how iconic that would be?
That would be pretty funny. Imagine
That'd be
just
amazing.
walking out and there's no snow on the street, but big snowmen.
They gotta be like well built too, with like real carrots and shit.
yeah.
You take all the fresh snow from everybody's yards that their kids are waiting to just jump into in the morning, and it's all made into all these snowmen.
Just one giant.
Yeah, but you
snowman.
couldn't even. They couldn't even be mad at that point. They'd just be impressed.
It's true.
You gotta be.
I think we got the cops called on us a couple times for like the drifting in the winter.
Everyone does.
That might
Yeah.
be true.
I
we
know
would
that.
we would
It's
have like
fun.
full followings. Like we would have like
drift trains.
not drift trains, but like I remember we would say, "Yo, here's the spot tonight," and we'd have like 20 cars show up in a church
Yes.
parking lot.
Just do circles.
Yeah, and we just like have like drift offs, and it would always be Matt driving.
You would always like roll down the windows, and just like all the snow would spray into.
No, that happened one time, and that was the worst. That was the worst.
Good times though.
I like pranks like the snowman thing because I just think it's comical. Like when people fill up cups halfway full of water and then like fill a school with them. Like,
Oh,
That's some science shit.
do you know how long that would take? I'm talking a cup every foot.
yeah.
Like-
I tried to do that to like ask a girl to prom.
Mhm.
I like I was gonna fill up her whole room, and like a half hour into it, I had gotten like just in front of her door. I was like, "All right, that's enough." It was like 15 cups.
Oh, yeah, all right,
15
fine,
cups
let's look
of
at it.
water?
Yeah,
That's like
okay,
nothing.
it was probably like 30 or 40, but
Yeah.
filling them all up, pain in the ass.
take forever, and especially to fill a school. Have you seen those pictures? It's like a
Yeah.
senior prank. Do you remember the senior prank when someone put a tree in the middle of a baseball field?
Yeah, and it turned into a big deal.
Yeah, it was a huge deal.
It started out with like the girls put on like fish on the guys one or something, right? It was something like that.
I don't remember.
It started
I
out and then
only
they
heard about the
escalated
tree.
to the tree,
In the softball field.
and the tree was a huge deal. Like I forgot what happened, but it was like such a big deal.
Well,
Like the
all it
police
was-
were called. There was like a police report filled out.
I know. I remember they just took out the tree, and then like that was it. Like
Yeah.
there's this.
They're like,
tree,
this is
like-
hundreds of dollars in damages. It's like I could go scoop that thing out in an hour
yeah,
and plant it.
yeah, and plant it somewhere else.
Yeah.
in another 30 minutes. Like
That's so funny.
that was. I thought that was pretty good. See, it was like a senior prank or something.
Yeah.
Whoever did that, I thought that was funny. At least. Seeing,
Did
I saw it
your,
on
did your
my
guys'
Instagram.
class have a senior
yeah, it
prank?
was fucking retarded. They were like, "All right, everybody wake up at like 6 in the morning, and we're gonna like pretend like we slept overnight. So we're gonna like set up a bunch of tents in the school and stuff, and like everybody just like pretend like you camped there."
See, I straight
Alright,
up did
what the
camp, not for a prank, but I straight up did camp at my school
Really?
one year, or for the senior year, one night.
What did you do?
Like
we
in the
we did it.
school?
No, it was like in the commons. We did like an all nighter, but like we all. I mean, we all. And then there was one where we slept on the field too. Where we did all sorts of stuff. We would just hang out. We would just dick around, and the cops showed up at one point, like 2 a.m, because they're like, "Why are there so many cars here?" And we're like, "We're just sleeping over,
Camping.
Yeah, it's like it was like the day before graduation, or it was like the last day of school. And we were just like, we're just hanging out. And he's like, all right, just keep it down. We're like, okay, sounds good.
It's kind of funny.
But yeah, there's senior pranks. You guys had a bad one? We had a
Yeah.
bring your dog to school day.
I
Remember
remember that.
that?
That was a huge deal.
That was a huge deal because
Yeah.
after like first period, the principal was like,
Losing his mind.
yeah, everyone was losing their mind. They're like, if
He had a
he's
threat
like,
on the announcements.
yeah, he's like, I'm giving you or like half an hour to take your dog home and come back to school. And if I see another dog today, you're suspended And if you're graduating, you're not walking at graduation.
Yeah, that's what it was. I remember I was a sophomore and I was like, what the hell? I was like, what's going on?
I remember I was like, I took my dog, I like picked my dog up and I was like walking out to school that morning and I was like, no. I was like, it's bring your dog to school day. She's like, is it really? And I was like,
Yeah.
kinda.
I mean, we said it was.
I mean, everyone else is doing it, Mom.
Yeah, Mom. That was cool. Bring your dog to school day.
I don't think we had one my year.
Yeah.
I just think, yeah. I
There's
don't think it was anything
a
special.
bit on like an older Simpsons episode where Bart sneaks into the school one night with just like a screwdriver and he like tears the whole thing down just from just a screwdriver, just seeing what he could unscrew. And like he did all the chairs, like just everything. And it was perfect. It was like, imagine if you had one night in a school, just a screwdriver. Think of how much damage you could do. Not damage necessarily, but think of how much stuff you could take apart.
I don't even know what I would take apart.
All the desks.
I wouldn't want to do student desks. I'd do the teacher's desk.
I'll just start taking.
No, the
apart
student desk would be
computers.
hilarious. You just have one person go down and everyone's like, "Why? What just happened?"
Just
And
one.
boom, all of them just taken out.
That would be pretty
That'd
funny.
be beautifully cinematic.
One time I streaked through the halls of ALA.
What?
And you're waiting until now to tell us.
No, I just remembered actually. I was going into third grade. This was when ALA was still being built. And for some reason my mom, she told me and my brother, she was like, "Hey, you guys have a meeting that you have to go to at ALA since you're going there this year. Also, by the way, you're going to ALA. So, you have this meeting thing that you got to go there. Everyone's going to be there." So, she just drops us off there, and there's no one else there but us and like some construction workers. So I'm like, my brother and I were like, "Hey, like, you want to run naked in the hallways?" So we just streak down the halls.
And the construction workers were like, what the heck?
They probably saw us, at least like a flash of us.
Just because when you said that, I was like,
Why? Have
I
you been-
imagine like 17-year-old Sean like, like down the hall.
I imagine like last
No.
week, Sean.
I ran naked around the Spanish Fork track. Did you guys
That's
ever do that?
right. I remember you
I didn't do that. Wasn't
telling me about that.
becoming a
That was
true don
fun.
or whatever. Not my thing. Not my jam.
Yeah, I never did that either.
Yeah.
No, I remember that one. This one image popped into my head when you talked about streaking. I don't know why. I just remember the principal and the assistant principal chasing, like full sprint, me and my friends down the hall. So my buddy had a lot of those. You know those like mini motorcycles? What are those called?
Yeah.
Those
Those were dope.
He had
Those, like,
5
razor
of them.
ones?
Yeah. He had like 5 of them, and it wasn't like end of school year. It was like winter time. And we're like, let's go get them and drive them through the school. So it took like 20 minutes of us just like going up and down the halls before anyone did anything about it. And I just remember the principal just like coming sprinting out of his office. And I was like riding towards him, started to flip around and start going. So we're all just like flying through the hallways, and they're both, stop! Oh, that was
Did
great.
you ever get caught or no?
So we like got out of the school and like drove down the neighborhood and then came back in and they like brought us in the principal's office. And they're like, "All right, that was not cool." And we were like, "Yeah, that was. That was fucking awesome."
That sounds so fun. Why didn't I go to high school with you? I would have gotten in so much trouble if I was your
Oh,
friend in
that's
high
no good.
school.
Oh man.
Oh, that sounds so fun.
We need to start doing pranks.
I know. One time I jumped
You were-
into the Spanish Fork pool and it was closed. That was pretty funny. That was in the middle of
Sick.
class.
Really?
Yeah. It was in the middle of volleyball class. We were outside. And do you know who Miss Troyer is?
Sounds familiar.
She was pretty cool. She was like a girls' PE coach. I was like, what would you do if I jumped in the pool right now? Like, they filled it that morning. She was like, I don't know. You won't. And just because she said those 2 words, I went and jumped the fence and got in.
That's like the worst thing you could ever say to Brayden. If you ever
I
don't
will
want
do
him
it.
to do something, don't say that he can't do it.
Yeah, she was like,
You
you won't
won't.
do it. And I was like, watch me.
Say,
So
I
I
mean,
did.
yeah, you probably could do it, but it really wouldn't
I
be that
stripped
cool.
down in my underwear in front of the entire class, and it was a co-ed volleyball class. There were girls in there, and I was like, whatever, and I got in. I thought it was pretty funny. I don't know if the girls did, but the guys thought it was funny, at least. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go do some pranks tonight. Let's go
Prank
hit some-
invasion, baby.
Let's go hit some doorbells.
Mommy makeout day.
We could hit some doorbells. That'd be funny. 19-year-old us. Ding. Running away.
No, they could legally assault us at that point.
Legally,
They're like-
yeah.
They trespassed on my lawn. I
We
felt
could get
threatened.
shot.
Yeah, they just shoot us. Shoot us dead in this world now.
That'd be hilarious.
Mm.
I mean, imagine.
yeah.
We've all gone. Sean's like, it's my turn. Sean goes,
Like, Sean, it's your turn. We did the last 3. He's like, I don't want to. Come on.
I got a bad feeling about this one, guys.
No, if anything, Sean would live. That's the joke.
Sean gets
Yeah.
shot in the back and lives.
Sean, well, we all get shot and die.
Get just blasted in the chest with rock salt. That would be it.
Rock salt.
The fucking blunderbuss filled with like salt or something.
They do like a beanbag. They shoot a beanbag at you. Have you seen those?
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are crazy.
They pull out a t-shirt cannon, just doof. I think it would probably hurt.
Oh yeah,
Imagine
point
putting
blank range.
like a weight in a t-shirt cannon, just doof.
Oh, another story that I have was with Billy Schaefer-Meyer. So like I dressed up as a British scholar, and I got this book of fairy tales, and then like I would just sit on a lawn chair. Like Billy would ring the doorbell, and then he would go and hide in a bush and film this. And I was sitting on just like a lawn chair with like the book, and I'd be like, "Oh, good evening. I was just skimming the works of Roger Rabbit," and like, and I would read them like pieces from like this fairy tale, and then like I would just close the book and walk away.
Like, dog,
that's
the
funny.
Jehovah's Witness have really stepped it up this year.
They're storytellers now.
I actually listened to him this time. It was pretty dope. Like,
good
Oh
time.
boy.
do we have any other like wicked stories? We kind of went off there, but I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I
pretty
don't.
funny.
Smith, were you a skater in high school?
I was.
Oh, yeah.
So
Dude, I feel like skaters have the
Skate
most
shenanigans.
fun. Like they just
We-
do shit.
I got my skateboard, my penny board, every single board I had taken away from me in high school because I would just like, all right, let's not go to class and let's just skate around the halls or something. So they would always just take them away from us.
Skate life's too rough. It really is.
All right. Well, I think that's it.
That was a fun little story time we had there.
Yeah.
Smith definitely had the best stories out of us four
Yeah. What the heck? We need to go make better stories
All right, tonight.
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 Ryan, how many garbage bags do you have? Do you have 4 garbage bags?
I have like tiny garbage bags, and they're white, so it won't work. We need to go get big black ones.
All right, guys. Tonight
They
we're
can
gonna
see
go.
the silhouette
if they
of like
see-
a body through the.
if they see white, like a whole white suit over us, they're gonna think we're the KKK, and we're gonna get shot.
No, the thing is, we're all 4 going to go get in huge, big black garbage bags, and we're gonna trespass inside their house, and we're all going to die.
I
And then
have
duck them.
black
Duck.
garbage
We'll throw a
bags.
duck in
We're
there.
gonna duck.
I have big black garbage bags in my house that smell like Febreze, so you can go pick those up.
All right, okay.
We can go
Deal,
cop some
deal.
from Wiggy.
Yep. Ooh, we got a lot.
We have way too many.
I feel like doorbell ditching is like much more like maybe like higher stakes these days because like nobody's ever expecting anybody to just ring on the doorbell. Nobody expects
That's
guests.
true. Yeah.
Like
It's kinda
especially
dead.
at this time of night, they're like,
It's so dead.
like what's going on?
Because like you can do so many more things now. Like
Prank calls. Do you remember when prank calls started?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's
remember-
like prankdial.com.
Yeah, I remember me and Max Clayton would pull up soundboards
What?
and like call people as Peter Griffin or just the stupidest soundboards ever. And we would always call Domino's, I think. We would always call one of the
course.
pizza joints, and they were like, they would lose their minds. Like, because it was obvious that we weren't the only ones prank calling him. But she's like, I am ready to report you guys to the Spanish Fork Police Department.
Like, what are you
And
gonna
it
do
would be
about
like
it?
Peter Griffin singing. They're like, I don't care.
I don't care.
And we were like, this is the funniest thing in the world. This is comedy gold here, boys.
Oh, I had something to say, but I forgot what it was. Oh my god.
It's all good. We'll wrap this one up tonight because we were like, yo, let's go for like 30 minutes on this next one, just because that last one was kind of long, and it's like the same length.
Here
But
we are.
Here we go again. So, all right, we're gonna peace out.
Thank you guys for listening. Goodbye.
love you, bye.